blessings, love, and light. It's your girl, Kim Martin Raymond. I am the host of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. And I came on today for a particular reason. I am starting a new uh, channel that is going to be called Spirit Body Transformation. And it is going to be the health and wellness awareness coaching aspect of my business. And so um, I have a major decision that I made. It's going to be a life altering decision that I've made of late. And in a couple of days, I will be going through a folliculectomy and an abdominoplasty where there's going to be excess skin removed from my lower abdomen, and um, my abdomen is going to be um, placed back in its original position. It stretches out, or it stretches out as you gain weight, and then it comes as we pull back together. So there's going to be a vertical and horizontal line that's going to go across my stomach, and it's not going to be liposuction. This is going to be a medical procedure because I have spinal stenosis, where a nerve pinches in my back, and it causes both of my legs to feel like they have a pins and needles kind of feeling. So it almost feels as though they're asleep. I have not fallen or anything like that, but they just feel like they're on pins and needles. And the longer I stand, the more progressive it gets, and it gets almost painful. So I have to almost bend over to kind of release that pinched nerve to get some relief. But if I continue to walk, then it goes on, the pain goes on. And so it's not very comfortable. And so it makes it where uh, I used to walk and run on a treadmill for 45 minutes. Now I can only be on the treadmill for about 8 minutes before I start to feel that sensation. So um, my pain doctor had recommended that I possibly get this abdominoplasty and this folliculectomy because of the pressure that the excess skin from my weight loss put on my stomach, that it would alleviate some of that. And so, um, first and foremost, I want to say that um, when you're looking to get consult for procedures like this, you want to always make sure that you check into if you have insurance to find out what's covered. Now, the folliculectomy was covered by my insurance, and for medical reasons. But the abdominoplasty, even though that's not going to be any type of liposuction, it's just going to be the removal of excess skin. What happens is it's still considered a cosmetic surgery. So the abdominoplasty is not covered under my insurance, but the folliculectomy is. So the abdominoplasty is considered an add-on to the folliculectomy. So you absorb some of the costs are for the addition are going to be absorbed in the folliculectomy. So such as the operating room, the anesthesia, because all those things are already going to be incorporated in the folliculectomy. So while they're doing the abdominoplasty, I want not you wouldn't have to be charged for that same fee twice. So, make sure that you ask those questions, because what happens is they're going to charge you for the amount of time that it takes to do that additional abdominoplasty. So you want to find out what that is. And then, I was fortunate enough to look into Care Credit and was able to pay for the abdominoplasty with the Care Credit. And that's something that anybody can look into. And you definitely want to check that out, because the Care Credit had a 0% financing for 2 years. So do your homework, do the legwork to find out the cost behind the procedure before you start, you know, getting yourself excited about having it. So there are some things that you definitely want to keep in mind before you talk about having procedures like this, because you have to have a certain, um, you want to be within a certain amount of pounds of your goal weight before you do this, because if you do it too soon, then what can happen is you will be in a place where if you lose any significant weight after the folliculectomy, the excess skin will come back, and it almost will negate what, the efforts of cutting away at that skin, because now you're going to cause excess skin to go on top of that skin. So you want to be as close to your goal weight, somewhere roughly between 10 to 15 pounds of your goal weight, because you're going to lose some weight because of the skin, the excess skin that's going to be removed. So you can anticipate that. And then, in my research, and this is something else, like always do your research. In my research, I'm told that, because of the type of surgery and the tightening of the muscles in your stomach, or you've lost all of that skin, you're not going to, it's going to cause a little bit of a diminished appetite, for maybe the first, week or so. They say somewhere between 3 weeks and 6 weeks, you may not have as strong an appetite because of the tightening of your stomach. So, that's something to keep in mind as well. So, you know, in doing all of this, in doing all of the research and everything to, learn more about what was going on, in preparation for this procedure. And again, it was time consuming. I had some issues with my paperwork not being submitted in a timely manner, so I had to do a little bit of legwork there. But it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks sometimes for the approval to come through. So during that time, before they give you your approval, and before you get confirmed for everything, you want to take that time to start doing your homework and finding out what the process entails. Come up with some questions that you can think of. Watch some YouTube videos and look at and Google a few things, and then ask questions to your doctor. Don't just go based on the things that you've seen or you've heard. If there's something that piques your curiosity or something that you want to learn a little bit more about, then what you need to do is, go about writing those questions down so that you can ask your physician when it's time for pre-op, those particular questions. And you want her answers or his answers, because those are going to be, your provider is going to be the person that's going to be walking with you hand in hand through this process. So that's the person who you want to, ask those questions to, and not just assume certain things or do certain things without consulting your physician first. We hear that over and over again. Please consult your physician before you do anything, before taking medication, before you do anything. We hear that all the time. And that's for a reason. Okay, so make sure that you're checking with your physician to make sure that you're doing things that are, that are not going to impede your healing, but that are going to assist in your healing process once it starts. So again, like I said, I'm a couple of days out before my procedure, and you're going to find that you go through a myriad of emotions. Now I'm excited, okay, about this process. I'm excited about the fact that this hanging skin that's been, this apron of skin that's been on my stomach has been there almost 40 plus years, because I have been large all of my adult life. And so, it's going to be an interesting process, because, they say your skin is the largest organ on your body, and now there's going to be a portion of it that's going to be removed. Okay, and so there's for some people that's a cause for a little anxiety, a little pause, because it's like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine that, you know. But think about the fact that, a person like me, that little apron has been sitting on my lap for years and years. That's all I know. And so, you think about that, and you think about how your body is going to look different. Okay, now, like I said, I've been on this wellness journey for a little over a year, and I've lost 64 pounds. And, you know, people who know me know I don't look exactly the way I used to look. I'm used to my super, super full. I still have my high cheekbones, but I had a super full, jolly face, had all kinds of things going on. And so it was already enough to kind of get used to this person that I see in front of me now, because it's not the person that I know. And again, because I have not been uh, small in my adult life, this body that I'm in now has been an adjustment to get used to. You know, it's not it goes beyond the physical. It's the mental part that gets you too. Because now I have to get used to this body. When I walk by the mirror, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's me. Because I went from a size 22, 24 to now I'm wearing a size, 16, 14. I'm wearing a size 14. I happen to be tall. I have long arms and I'm tall. I'm 5'9". And so sometimes if I get the smaller size, it's at the cost of it being high waters or being a sleeve that cuts a little too close to, I mean, it doesn't quite hit my wrist like it should. So I have issues sometimes with clothes, and you have to wind up buying tall clothes. And of course, because I'm in my wellness journey, I'm not going out and buying new clothes. So y'all, you gonna hear me say it over and over again. I spend time at the GW, the Goodwill, all the time because that's the best thing to do until you're at a more steady weight where you can go ahead and buy clothes because you're going to be in that size a little more on a permanent basis. And I knew that I was still going to be going through this process, so I didn't go out and buy brand new clothes. I wound up buying clothes that were, that were a little cheaper and that I can, send back if I need to. So, saying all that to say that I, you know, am not used to being in this size. This is not the size that I've ever been. I have not been in the size 14 since I was 12. Real talk. And so, you know, I don't have a point of reference. Okay? And so I'm looking and saying, okay, I don't know this body. I'm not familiar with this body. I can't say, well, back in the 80s when I was a fly girl, I was big then. So there's really not a point of reference for me. So all of this is new. And so I bring that up because there was something critical. There was an aha moment that I had today. Because even though I'm excited about the procedure and what the outcomes are going to be and all of that, I still was feeling some kind of way. And I just couldn't put my finger on what that feeling was. And it occurred to me today. And you know what it was? I've spent so much time finally getting to a place where I accepted who I was at the weight that I was, that now that these changes have occurred and I'm about to, have something removed from me that's been a part of me for so many years, I had a feeling of remorse. Because the person that I was, that I finally came to love and accept, is no longer here. And I was feeling some kind of way about it. And so now I have to, now that I've identified that, I have to now go through the process of mourning that person that I grew to love so much and to begin to embrace this new version of myself that's going to be a healthier version, that's going to be around hopefully a little longer, because I'm doing things for my health and for my well-being. So, my girlfriend Monica, I have to shout her out because, I was sharing this with her and she said, you know what, Kim, that sounds almost like a person who has had, a woman who has had a hysterectomy and has lost it, even though she may not want any more children and she's had to have it removed for medical reasons. She still, feels as though she's not going to be able to have children anymore. And so there's a small period of remorse that you have, or feeling of sadness that overcomes you. And it's a matter of, okay, what am I going to do with that feeling? And so that's the aha moment that I had today. And that's something that I'm going to be dealing with over the next couple of days as I move into the surgery, and I'm sure after the surgery as well. So it's not just a physical thing. This is an emotional thing. It's a mental thing. And so you have to start preparing yourself for that. So I wanted to share that information, and there are going to be many videos to come after this as I get closer to my journey and as I go through the process of the surgery and as I go moving forward. So please stay tuned. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, share, push the notification bell so you'll know when I'm going to be sharing additional videos. And until I see you next time, chew on that. And I say peace.